Everyone, it's Roger here from what's on disneyplus.com. A quick news update for you guys on ESPN coming soon to Disney Plus in Australia and New Zealand. But before we go any further, make sure you do hit that subscribe button to keep up with the latest Disney Plus news. So no doubt over the last few years we have noticed that sports is becoming a much bigger part of streaming services. A few years ago, we generally just didn't see much sport on any of them, but they are all now trying to grab different events and things like that. Netflix has got in with WWE. They're trying to get hold of Formula One. We're also seeing big boxing matches. Amazon is getting involved with it. Peacock is doing it. Paramount. They're all doing sports. And Disney is also trying to do the similar kind of thing. So ESPN is their big sports brand, and we've slowly been seeing ESPN sort of seeping into Disney Plus. Now, it started a few years ago. We started seeing all like the ESPN 30 for 30 documentaries. They were starting to creep on. Other things like Tom Brady's in the Arena. And in the United States, things kind of really ramped up when they launched ESPN on Disney Plus. That launched back in December of last year. But that works slightly differently to how it works, for example, in Latin America. So because down there, last summer, they merged together Disney Plus and Star Plus. They merged them together, bringing all of the sports content into Disney Plus under the ESPN hub. Now, to be honest, once that happened, this kind of set an idea really that this is going to be what's going to be happening pretty much everywhere else, because once they've done it in one continent, the chances of them expanding it out is very, very high. In the US, they do it slightly different. There is an ESPN hub and there is live sports there, but also you have to have an ESPN Plus subscription to have access to everything. Later this year, they're going to be launching the ESPN flagship streaming service, which is going to have all of the sports in the US that they've got access to, all available through Disney Plus at a premium. So they've kind of gone with the premium way because the sports rights that they have in the US are much more expensive, and they're all just trying to boost up engagement, boost up how much they're watching, how much advertising they're getting, because live sports is one of the few things that still remain that people want to watch live and come together for it. For example, we just had the big Super Bowl last night, and that's one of the biggest events of the year. Now, in Australia and New Zealand, today, I've had a number of different readers, listeners, message me with saying that they've got a little pop-up on Disney Plus when they've logged in, saying that the ESPN is going to be coming to Disney Plus in Australia and New Zealand at some point. It was a very simple thing, just saying it's coming, and the hubs, and there's an ESPN hub. Now, this ties in with what we heard a few weeks ago from the Sydney Herald, where they talked about the fact that they're expecting all of the ESPN content to move over into Disney Plus, because in July, a multi-year deal that they signed with Foxtel is set to come to an end. At the minute, all their ESPN content is on that network, and that deal is set to end in July. Recently, Foxtel got picked up by DAZN, which is a massive sports company that's got things around the world. So it makes sense that they're going to start pulling that content off there. So when is the ESPN hub going to launch in Australia and New Zealand? Don't know. Could be months away. We haven't heard anything officially as of yet. Like I said, just been getting posts from people telling me that they're seeing it popping up in their app. And obviously, you're going to have to be in that region. The sports stuff is very much more different than like movies and shows, because they only tend to buy global rights or certain rights to different countries. Disney has been ramping it up. For example, they picked up some soccer rights for some of the Nordic countries. But they're one of the big ones that we're going to see probably. I think this will be where we start seeing it globally, is the NBA. They've got a new contract that kicks off with the next season, and they've got global rights to a number of games. And I think that's going to be a big push towards it. I fully expect the ESPN hub is then going to spread across Europe, maybe also Middle East and Africa, because there used to be an ESPN app called ESPN Player, used to run in Europe and Middle East and Africa. They closed it down. They licensed out some of the content to different places. A lot of those deals are coming up, and it would make sense for them to bring it all in, make ESPN a global sports brand. The best way of doing it, putting that into Disney Plus. Then if they've got things like the NBA, plus they're going to have all of their official movies and documentaries that they make for ESPN. You know, we're not really seeing them being released properly. There's going to be a brand new exclusive Disney Plus show called SC Plus, which is going to be aimed at general audiences. That'll be exclusive to Disney Plus. If they're putting it out in the US, it would make sense for them to put it everywhere and get some more value out of it. They're really going all in on sports. Again, this push in Australia, New Zealand, it's coming. We've seen it in Latin America, and they're starting to make some sports stuff here in Europe as well. I don't think it's going to be too long until ESPN is just one hub around the world. Hopefully we get some confirmation of this pretty soon. Some of this might be localized with different contracts and stuff, and the amount of content is going to vary. I think they're going to be much more region locked. So if you've got an Australian account, you can't access the sports in Latin America and vice versa. It's all kind of locked in much more rigorously, because they want to make sure that, you know, that each company is being so different rights in different countries. They don't want to be kind of jumping around it. But also Disney is trying to get global rights for a lot more things now, and that would tie in. They've got global rights for a lot of the American sports stuff. And yeah, as I said, you know, NBA rights. I think they've also got the UFL, the American football. There's a lot of things that they do have global rights for. Yeah, so we're going to see a lot more sport. Sport is definitely, ESPN is now going to be it is the 7th hub, as already is in America. Might be a little bit tricky in Canada because of the deal that they've got there but things are changing, things are moving around, who knows? But I think we're definitely going to be seeing more sports on Disney Plus. Let me know what you think. Do you want to see more sports on there? Love to hear your thoughts on that. Go check us out over at whatsondisneyplus.com. Like, follow, and subscribe, and I shall see you guys soon. Laters.